Welcome to Buzzed and Baffled, the podcast where the wine flows, the stories twist, and the truth is always stranger than fiction. We laugh, we sip, and we dive into tales that leave us buzzing with questions and baffled by reality.
But before we uncork the weirdness, a quick disclaimer. We're not experts, just curious storytellers with glasses in hand. All content within this podcast is our humble opinion. Some content may be dark, disturbing, or downright inappropriate, so listener discretion is advised. And remember, nothing pairs better with a wild story than a good pour, so let's get buzzed and baffled.
We're back.
We are back. We are
Episode 24.
24. I'm going to do a twofer because both of my stories are a little bit short. But they are
A little more upbeat than mine.
well, I don't know if you'd say they're upbeat.
Based on what I'm seeing on the board, I'm going to go with not. There looks like to be a pile of gelatinous goo,
That's
Gold?
exactly what it is.
gold flakes,
That's not what that is.
and a sign that just says exploding whales.
I told her I was going to put those up without any context whatsoever, and I did, and the look on her face was horrified. So I'm going to do a twofer, and like I said, the stories aren't related, but the theme is kind of related. And I realized after I wrote this, when I was thinking about it earlier today, that I apparently have a thing for stuff in the air.
So your theme is in the air. Mine is gruesome murders.
Yeah, because I did pigeons and chickens,
Yep.
and this is going to be more stuff in the air.
Whales are not supposed to be in the air. I don't know if anyone ever told you that.
So with our theme, I was planning on doing surf and turf for dinner because
That's what I entitled it already. That's what it has to be.
I told her the episode was going to be called surf and turf, but of course it couldn't be real surf because she's allergic to shellfish.
I know I ruined everything.
So I was going to substitute it with salmon, which would have been fine. But then she sprained her shoulder and cannot use a knife and fork. And I felt it would be a little bit cruel to put a steak in front of you.
Or you have to cut it up into small bite-sized portions for me to then eat it.
Yeah. And neither of us wanted that. So instead, I had Kentucky Fried Chicken. One of my stories takes place in Kentucky, and you'll realize where the surf and turf thing comes from. But we did not eat any whale today. No.
What were the sides we got, Kyla?
Ugh, fucking assholes. I ordered wedges and mac, and I got wedges and mashed potatoes.
And David was happy because he always makes her get wet mashed potatoes and coleslaw. I almost said sauerkraut. I don't know what they serve at KFC.
I can't think of a single fast food restaurant that has sauerkraut as an option for a side. I wish there was.
I bet you there's a German fast food restaurant somewhere that does.
Maybe Wiener Schnitzel? I don't know. I've never been to one.
I didn't know there was a place called Wiener Schnitzel. So
Yeah.
I was just being facetious.
Well, the wine this evening, and actually I purchased this from Walmart. I was surprised that I was able to find it there.
It's called Erath.
Probably.
Or Erath, but I think Erath is better.
Erath sounds better.
It's a 2022 Pinot Noir. A soft and approachable Oregon Pinot Noir appeals to red and white lovers alike. Crafted to highlight Pinot's best characteristics, enjoy it on its own, or discover how well it pairs with food. It doesn't say what food, just food.
Bear with me. My microphone is whack right now. I have to adjust it because looking at yours is like dropped down and
your microphone is fucking backwards.
Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties. I'll fix it before the next episode. I'm like, why does this look so weird? Yours is like a nice right angle down from the arm, and mine is just straight across. You can take a picture of my idiot microphone. I'm like, how come this is being so hard to adjust? Oh, okay. Because it's backwards. That's why.
Smile. And then you can take a picture of mine with my broken wing.
What it's supposed to look like.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to crack this open.
Yeah, with her one hand.
Okay.
Don't hurt yourself anymore. Just let me do it.
No, I'm gonna give it a try. I was able to open the peanut butter today.
Ooh.
Oh, so I could do it. It wasn't too hard. There wasn't too much torque involved.
Ooh, the pouring might be a different story though.
I'm doing it backwards.
Yeah, we got light carpet and light chairs. So. But I picked this obviously because it's from Oregon, and Oregon is actually known for Pinot Noirs, which is not something we normally drink on here.
Yeah, but I do like a good. It would be better to drink a Pinot Noir if it wasn't 86 outside.
Yeah, it's October 4th today, and it is 87 degrees outside right now.
I am not impressed. I was gonna decorate for Halloween. Aside from the fact that I couldn't carry all the things upstairs, I'm not doing it when it's 86.
Kind of takes the magic out of the season.
I am going to make my mother put it all in a basket and carry it all upstairs for me, though.
When I was thinking of one-handed foods you could eat, I was like, oh, soup. And then I was like, no, it's 90 degrees out. I'm not making soup.
Some nice clam chowder, maybe. Oh, this is nice and even. It's not too dry. It's not juicy.
No, it's not juicy, but it's good. It's a little smoky.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot smoky, actually.
I'm trying to think what I would want. Like I wouldn't eat with fish, obviously.
No, it's.
But like a nice acidic pasta, like a beef bourguignon or a bolognese.
It needs something to stand up to it.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't eat this with like a salad.
This would be really good with like a big cheesy piece of lasagna.
Ooh, yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tasty though.
Because like the fatty of the lasagna would go really good with this.
Mm-hmm. Listen up, Daryl. We want Pinot Noir on Lasagna Tuesdays.
No, he'll just get us more dark horse.
Okay, so, good thing you can't spray me because your sprayer is over here. The first of the two stories, we're going to go back in time. Well, both of these are back in time.
And is this the Kentucky
This
one?
is in Kentucky.
Okay.
But we're going all the way back to March 3rd, 1876. And this is in a place called Bath County, Kentucky. The closest town is Olympia Springs, but this kind of takes place in the outskirts because it was like an unincorporated community. So it's northeast-ish Kentucky.
So first I had to find Kentucky on the map.
Mm-hmm. It's the one in purple.
Yep, I found it. It's right under Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the only flag there, so that's easy enough to find.
All right. Mrs. Sally Crouch, a farmer's wife, was taking advantage of the clear, sunny day and was making soap on her porch while her grandson played in the yard. At about 11 a.m., a piece of what looked like beef fell from the sky.
Like, oh, good, she didn't spray me. Was it like a cut piece of meat or just like a blob?
It's described as flake-like.
Okay. I was trying to picture, like, did a steak like fall out of an airplane or something?
Also, it's 1876.
I don't know when airplanes were first made. As I'm talking, you know that video I sent you of the two gay guys, and there's the one blonde one, and then there's the comedian?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like the blonde one right now.
Mm-hmm. If you think back to your story last week, which took place not too many years away from this, do you think there was planes then?
I do not think the Benders had planes. Others, they probably wouldn't have escaped on wagon wheel.
Yep. So, no planes.
Okay.
Naturally, Mrs. Crouch ran into her home to take cover. Over the next hour, a, quote, horse wagon full of meat, end quote, fell to the earth across a 50 by 100 yard area. So, half a football field.
Is this like a Baptist plague? Like just meat falling from the sky instead of frogs?
I don't know. The pieces were flake-like, and most were about 2 by 2 inches in size, but at least one was 4 by 4.
I mean, 2 by 2 of just like raw meat falling from the sky is big enough that it's gross.
Yeah, yeah. Any size is gross.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Mrs. Crouch remained inside until her husband and son returned home. She told Mr. Crouch all about the event, and he went outside to take a look. He grabbed several pieces and noticed that their hogs, chickens, cat, and dog seemed to enjoy eating the mystery substance without any ill effect. So they're just having the time of their life eating the sky meat.
Lana would be all about
Oh,
it.
that would be the best day.
Like, if meat just fell from the
Yeah.
sky, Lana would engorge herself.
And she got to be outside. Yeah. As word of the event spread, several visitors came to the farm shortly after.
Was their farm the only farm that got hit?
Yes, because it was only the area was, if you imagine a football field, it was 50 by 100 yards. So a football field's 100 yards long and 50 across.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like half a football
half
field.
So
that was the only area that was hit?
Yeah. So pretty much centered over their farm.
That's a pretty narrow contact area for dead cow to fall. I have so many questions.
Two of the visitors, two men, tasted the meat.
Oh my. Did they cook it first?
No.
So there's like, beef tartare.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
They remarked that it tasted like mutton or venison.
So there's the soup. It could have been. You don't know if it's cow. They didn't have forensic testing back then to find out.
I mean, they said it looked like beef, but...
Were the Bender family nearby?
I don't know. One visitor noticed that pieces falling on fence posts that had hit like, a wooden fence post did leave kind of a bloody color or stain where they had hit, and that the substance they left behind did smell like fresh blood.
Mm-hmm.
Samples were taken and sent to various institutes for testing. Leopold Brandeis analyzed the samples and believed them to be nostoc, a cyanobacteria that is also known as star jelly, which is what is up there on the board.
What kind of testing abilities did they have in the 1800s to figure out what it was?
They
hopefully not like taste testing. Like
no,
the first
they
guy.
would have put it under a microscope. They would have done probably some chromatography.
Is that when you look at the cells?
No, that's when you. Do you remember doing like in 3rd or 4th grade, coloring on a coffee filter and putting it in water, and then the ink goes up and spreads?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess ink was invented after that, so never mind.
I mean, we didn't do that with stone and papyrus. So.
No, chromatography just splits things down into its elements, and you can kind of figure out what's in it by how the distance that it travels.
Like the
and
dye and things, like it tells you what it's made of.
Yes. So they probably would have done something like that.
But what is that disgusting gelatinous thing called?
Nostoc.
How do you spell that?
Nostoc.
So is it part of the cow or
no? Nostoc is it's it's its own colony of bacteria.
So that guy just ate this?
Well,
did he turn into a zombie?
No, and I'm not even going to horn you because it's not true. Leopold Brandeis, the one who analyzed it, asserted that nostoc exists on the ground, but it doesn't swell up until it is hit with rainwater. So think of a lichen on a rock or moss. That's kind of what it's like. And then once it gets hit with rain, it kind of swells up.
Was there a tornado that grabbed it and threw it into the sky?
No, but he said he thinks it's this because when rain hits it, it looks like it's coming from the sky because it takes, when the raindrop hits, it blooms up.
Oh, so it didn't fall. It was already on the ground.
Mm-hmm. The nostoc theory was quickly debunked, however.
Oh, no. I was also like, how did you get a farm full of bacteria and nobody noticed?
It wasn't raining that day.
Okay.
So that really knocked that one out. And my own analysis of it is that looks literally nothing like meat.
No, it doesn't.
Not at all.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's like if I took orange Jell-O and stuck popcorn in it and let it solidify.
Yeah, it looks gross. We'll put it on the website, buzzandbaffled.net.
Be sure to look at it while you're eating dinner.
Yeah, it kind of looks... It looks like a pile of rotting leaves, kind of. It's just icky.
I can kind of smell it from here.
Yeah. Brandeis, although completely wrong on his theory of what it was, did play a crucial role in the investigation because he forwarded his sample to the Newark Scientific Association, where another scientist, Dr. Alan Hamilton, concluded that that it was lung tissue.
That's grosser.
And it could only have come from either a horse or a human infant.
Well,
which
look,
are two very.
I mean, granted, I don't have like a quarter sitting next to that picture to give me like a size comparison, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's not the lung tissue of a human infant, and it wasn't spread over 50 square feet.
Yeah, and those seem to be two very different sizes on the spectrum.
And horse DNA is not even close to human.
No. And they wouldn't have had DNA testing. But he's looking at the cellular structure.
Okay.
Stating, he said the structure of the organ in these two cases is almost identical. So between a horse and a human infant, which there's your factoid for the day. Apparently, horses and human infant lungs look almost identical under the microscope.
Except for the size.
Yeah, and I don't know what size horse lung cells are, but
I mean, I'm willing to bet the horse lung is the size of a human baby.
Dr. Hamilton's ideas were backed up by additional testing, which determined that there was lung tissue, muscle tissue, and cartilage among the pieces of meat.
So it's a slurry.
Yes. A reporter from the New York Times visited Olympia Springs a week after the meat shower.
We're going to get flagged for being indecent.
He interviewed many community members, all who stated the Crouch family were good people and would have no reason to fabricate a story like this. And I was able to find the original New York Times article, and I read through it. And he interviewed, and this article is hilarious because he treats it like a diary. So he says, oh, we took our wagon there, and it took however many hours. And then when we got there, we had a nice supper of lamb stew, and instead of just being like a regular article.
I would not eat any meat substance from anywhere in a tri-county area if I was visiting this place.
In the interview, Mrs. Crouch told the reporter that when she saw the first few pieces come down, she panicked and thought that her husband and son had been killed and cut up, and this is how the remains were being returned to her.
She thought God was spraying her husband and son at her.
Mm-hmm. And I just put a little aside here that we love a catastrophic thinking queen. After realizing this was not the case,
phew,
she maintains the event was a sign from God for things to come.
Does it get worse?
Well, no.
Okay.
And this is my actual side note. The reporter for this story was a dick. He offered a local rail worker, Jimmy Welsh, money to eat a piece of the mystery meat. Jimmy sat down, looked at the meat, and said I can't eat that on my own, or on its own. Like, I can't eat meat by itself. I gotta have something.
Some potatoes?
So the reporter ordered him a side of pickles and crackers. After several tries to put the meat in his mouth, he gave up. The reporter upped the prize money to $5, but Jimmy suddenly remembered it was Lent, so he couldn't eat the meat anyways.
I do enjoy that it's not like, fuck you, reporter. Like, oh, darn, I forgot I'm Catholic.
So we know it was meat and not some type of bacterial colony, but where did it come from?
That's
probably the question on your mind.
And why was it a gelatinous slurry?
We don't know for sure. To this day, we don't know. The most popular theory among the locals is that a nearby vulture disgorged some recently consumed meat in order to make a quick escape or as a method of defense.
I mean, that track. That means some guy ate vomit.
Yeah. In seeing one vulture do it, the rest in the flock followed suit. This theory was also presented by Dr. Louis Castenbein in the 1876 issue of the Louisville Medical News as support for the variety of tissue types found, because there was lung, muscle, and cartilage at minimum. He noted that he set one of his samples on fire, and it smelled distinctly like rancid mutton. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
And that is a thing that vultures do. They will vomit if they're as a defense mechanism or to lighten so they can fly.
I also kind of wonder, how old was this meat? How long it took the reporter to get there, to travel many days?
Yeah, he was there a week later, and he's trying to get this poor guy to eat it for money.
Like, they didn't have refrigeration back then.
And even if they did, it was still like from the gut of a vulture.
Yep.
A sample of the meat is stored in the specimen lab at Transylvania University. I shit you not.
Well, can't they test it now to see what it is?
Do you know where Transylvania University is?
I'm assuming it's not in Eastern Europe.
It's in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
So right down the road from where the meat shower happened.
Why would they call it Transylvania
I
University?
have no idea.
What do they study there? Like, what do they specialize in?
Meat showers? I don't know.
I'm going to look this up.
And that's what that little
vial?
Yeah, that's the vial.
You feel like that we have the ability to test it now.
DNA studies on the sample have been inconclusive.
That's weird. I don't like that. Okay, look up Transylvania University.
I don't know why it's called that. It seems
It is a private liberal arts university in downtown Lexington, Kentucky.
interesting. Does it say why it's called that?
It does not.
But that is the Kentucky meat shower of 1873.
Majors and minors, self-designed majors, pre-professional, and accelerated. So it's a weird university that's not great.
Is there like Dracula studies or something?
You'd think it would be like blood culturing or something.
You think they have better blood sampling techniques and be able to figure out what that mystery meat was?
But like their big thing is self-designed majors. So like I think it's like a glorified community college.
Yeah, they're probably not accredited or have some kind of weird pay for accreditation. Don't sue us, Transylvania University. You're probably fine.
Also, you're not going to get anything from us.
Yeah. I mean, but we'll come visit you. We'll come do a pod there.
We want to look at your meat
I want to look
sack.
at the mystery meat.
Okay, well, that's disgusting. And I feel bad for like the guy that ate it. That's disgusting.
The two men who just walked up and were like, oh, what's this? Let me take a bite.
Mm-mm.
I have a pretty adventurous palate, but that would be a no from me.
As a general rule, I don't eat anything unless I know where it came from.
Yeah. I certainly don't pick things up off the ground that came from the sky.
Me either.
We're going to fast forward 190 to, I don't know how many years, to November 9th, 1970. So now we're moving over to Florence, Oregon.
Okay, on the coast there.
Yep, right on the coast, just about smack dab in the middle of Oregon on the coast. So halfway down.
Is that near Forks?
I don't think so. I don't know. Florence, Oregon. So, don't spray me. That was the first time I did it.
Oh, it's too thin.
Nope, you used your chance.
I'm ready for the next one.
A 45-foot long decaying sperm whale carcass weighing 16,000 pounds has washed ashore the coastal Oregon town of Florence.
Grab your chainsaws because I think that's probably the only way to get rid of it.
Wrong. Well, not wrong, but not how they're going to do it. The whale had died somewhere out at sea and floated in with the tide. That's called a drift whale, which is in contrast to a beached whale, which is still alive when it's on shore. It just can't get back in. As the whale continued to decompose, the putrid smell repulsed beachgoers, and increasing concerns that the carcass would burst on its own forced authorities to decide that something had to be done. Duh.
Yeah, you have a several-ton whale rotting in the sun.
16,000 pounds of dead whale.
I bet you there's a lot of vultures around there.
Yeah, there's probably some meat showers in Oregon after this. At that time, because all Oregon beaches were considered public rights of way, they were under the jurisdiction of the Oregon Highway Division, which seems weird.
Yeah,
but
you think
that's
it'd be
what
like
it
I would
was.
think it'd be like Park Service or something.
Mm-hmm. It had been so long since a whale carcass had drifted ashore there that nobody could remember how they should get rid of it.
They didn't have it written down somewhere,
not.
like in the Rolodex of in case of emergencies, here's what to do with the whale.
Under W in the Rolodex. It was too gross to be cut up and moved. It was huge and nobody wanted to do it.
Well, and because at that point, if you cut it up, it's going to explode.
Well, yeah, and nobody wants to grab their Husqvarna chainsaw and just like go.
You're going to have to get like one of those 2-manners that you use to cut down like the big tree trunks.
And gross. And they were concerned, they discussed burying it, but they were afraid that the tide was going to wash it back up anyways.
Yeah. Because you can't like move it somewhere else. You
Yeah.
got to bury it where it is.
You basically have to dig a hole next to it and like push it in.
And then it's still going to explode.
Mhm. After consulting with the U.S. Navy, the Highway Division decided the most efficient method to remove the carcass was to blow it up with dynamite. Much like how the Highway Division would remove any other large obstacle, treating it like a giant boulder.
This is going to be so disgusting. Only men would come up with this idea.
Their thought process was that the explosion would disintegrate the flesh, basically blast it into smithereens.
Oh, it's going to get blasted, all right.
And anything left, because they were going to blast it towards the sea. So they figured scavengers, small fish, seagulls would just take care of the rest of it.
Great whites.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. But that the pieces would be small enough that scavengers could finish up whatever larger pieces. This method was used in some other areas of the world to manage similar situations, but those countries towed the carcass out to sea before they exploded it. They didn't do it right on the beach.
It's going to be so disgusting. I hope they get exactly what they deserve.
They do. I'm not even going to harm you for that. Assistant District Highway Engineer George Thornton was put in charge, noting that he was assigned because his supervisor was away on a hunting trip. Bad timing for George.
Mm-hmm.
George admitted he had no idea how much dynamite he would need to complete the task, but he eventually decided that just to be safe, he would use 1,000 pounds, which is about 20 cases of dynamite or about 1,100 sticks.
So he wants to cover the entire town with dead whales.
So he really decided to shoot for the moon on that one.
Please tell me there's a video of this that I can find.
Oh, there is a video, and I even have a writing in here where we are going to pause and you're going to watch the video, and then we're going to come back and discuss.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about physics for a second, so try to stick with me.
Oh, God. Science.
Each stick of dynamite contains about 1 megajoule of energy. A megajoule is the same amount of kinetic energy that a 2,000-pound vehicle, so like a subcompact car, like your Yaris. So your Yaris going 100 miles an hour has the same kinetic energy as 1 stick of dynamite.
And how many? He has 100?
Yes. So now imagine 1,100 Yarises,
Just like
all going 100 miles an hour,
ramming into this whale.
That's a hell of a lot of energy. And it's all under the side of the whale.
Oh, I was thinking they would like drill holes and put it in the whale.
Nope. They I think I talk about that a little bit more in a second. So
like I would put it in the side of the whale so it blows out the other way.
So they're putting it on the town side of the whale to blow it towards the sea. Businessman and Army veteran Walter Umenhofer happened to be near the beach when the dynamite was being placed. He had previous explosives training and told the Highway Division that 200 cases of dynamite was way too much.
He's like, in my professional opinion.
Yeah. And that, how many sticks do you think he recommended? So they're putting 1,100 in.
20.
That is exactly right. He said that no more than 20 sticks, which is only 8.5 pounds, rather than the 1,000 pounds they have there, was needed. They ignored him.
I hope he was so smug afterwards. He went, told you so.
On the day of the detonation, about 75 people came to watch from a safe distance, which is more than it should be, but also I thought it would be more than that.
I don't want to go anywhere near a rotting 2-ton whale and then watch them blow it up and get covered in the guts.
So they kind of posted up about a quarter mile away. On November 12th at 3:45 p.m., which is about 3 days later, with no countdown, the whale carcass with 55 times the recommended amount of dynamite buried underneath it was exploded.
Did they at least wait for the tide to be coming in so it like takes it away?
I don't know what time it is at 3:45 p.m. One reporter, Larry Bacon, said, quote, "All of a sudden, there was this 100-foot geyser of blood, blubber, and sand going up into the sky. It was like a blubber snowstorm with tiny particles of blubber floating down after the big chunks," end quote.
Well, what did they think was going to happen?
The massive explosion caused large chunks of blubber to be thrown as far as 800 feet away into nearby parking lots and buildings, as well as towards the onlookers.
Can you imagine getting ready to leave work? I was like, whap! On the window, it's like,
People were retching at the overwhelming smell.
yeah.
Fortunately, there were no injuries, but Walter Umenhofer, the man who gave the advice regarding the explosives being too much, had his car crushed by a 3-foot chunk of blubber.
Oh, he doesn't deserve that.
It gets better. Ironically,
I would have been so bad.
he had purchased the car just a few days before. Hold on. From a dealership that was having a, quote, whale of a deal promotion.
Oh my God. I hope that the guy who didn't follow his advice had to pay to fix that car.
Mm-hmm. The seagulls that the highway department counted on to eat the blubber bits were scared away by the noise of the explosion, and only some of the whale was actually disintegrated by the blast, while a large portion of it remained untouched.
So like 50% of the whale's gone, but like the bottom half is still
Mhm.
there.
The highway division employees ended up having to bury the remaining carcass and large pieces anyways.
I would have made it do it by hand.
Everything in the area smelled for days.
I do not doubt that.
And normally we wouldn't pause during a pod, but I think it's really important that you see this video, and we will post this because you have to watch it.
So we're all going to pause,
Yep.
and you need to go to buzzedandbaffled.net where
Yes.
I will
Yep.
have the video so you can watch it.
Mhm.
So bear with us, guys. I would say that I'm at a loss for words, but we know that is never true for me.
I think that's the longest I've ever heard you be quiet about something. Now that we're all back from the video, and if you didn't watch it, you better go and watch it right now.
Tell them where to find it on the website, Kyla.
On the inside the episode, drop down, but you have to go to the drop down.
And then you have to click the link.
Then you have to click the link.
So I have a lot of takeaways from this. One is they did journalism in the 70s a little bit differently than they do now.
Mhm.
Safety precautions were kind of meh,
I
whatever.
don't- it's kind of not near any major city. Eugene is the closest place to it. OSHA probably wasn't around that day.
When they're exploding like a casino, how many tons of dynamite do they use?
I have no idea, but probably not as much as they put in that whale.
Because you have to be standing so far away from the building. the red mist
Yeah,
that
that's
occurred.
exactly what it was.
And the sound of like the rotting flesh just hitting the beach. And nobody seemed to be concerned about it. They're just like, oh, okay.
Now that you've seen the video,
Oh my gosh.
we'll move to after the blast, which is pretty much where the video ended. After the blast,
Poor guy's car's crushed.
George Thornton, who was in charge, and he's interviewed in that video, he was very confident that it was going to work.
The confidence of a white man.
And he told the newspaper afterwards that everything had gone as planned. The only hiccup was that the explosion had caused a funnel-like structure in the sand under the body of the whale. That was the only hiccup.
That was the only problem I could observe. Everything else right as it should.
Yep.
Not a single piece of that whale hit the ocean.
The smell of rotting whale persisted in the area for a while after the incident. News outlets called the event Florence's most infamous moment, which I never heard of Florence, Oregon until now.
I hope that man never lived that down.
Several months later, George Thornton was promoted to
Of course he was.
the Medford, Oregon Highway Department office, which was over 3 hours away from Florence.
Well, what is the concept when someone's incompetent and they get promoted just to get them out of the area?
Yep. Whatever it is, it was that, I'm sure. And that's
It's not like-
conjecture on my part.
It's
but-
not like the Peter.
Oh, the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am saying it's conjecture on my part that I'm using promoted facetiously, but I mean, really.
He was transferred
He was
somewhere.
transferred somewhere. Later, in 1990, newspaper humorist Dave Barry had seen the video of the event and wrote about it in his column, sparking renewed interest. He didn't explicitly mention that it occurred 20 years earlier, so the Oregon Highway Division started getting calls from people who were then very disappointed to find out it was not happening right now.
You don't want to go park there. Your car is going to get crushed by whale carcass.
Paul Lindman, who is the anchor or the reporter in the news story when it occurred in the 1970s,
He had a very nice brown polyester
Mhm.
suit.
he went back as part of this renewed interest and re-interviewed George Thornton in the mid-90s. George continued to insist the incident was successful and that it was hostile media reports stating otherwise.
I would now want to do a deep dive on George Thornton and find all of the highlights of his career. Because I figured there has to be more doozies if that was like the first thing he did.
The Oregon Department of Transportation has since revised their drift whale policy.
See, they have a policy now. It's under W for whale.
The standard procedure was updated to now burn and bury the carcass rather than blast it into oblivion. And
That's also going to smell, by the
Mhm.
way.
they updated it shortly after this event because in 1979, 41 sperm whale carcasses drifted onto the shores of the state's beaches.
Gross.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned, like, why is there that many?
I don't know.
Like, I feel maybe they need to look into that.
Mhm. The department also still fields calls related to the incident to this day.
They just have like one poor secretary who gets like the
Joan.
the exploding whale calls.
She's worked there since the original incident.
Jesus Christ, not again.
The Siaslav Pioneer Museum has some of the whale's bone fragments on display in their collection. In 2020,
Why?
I don't know. Because it's some tiny ass museum that needs
Oh, I
something to draw
suppose,
people
yeah.
there. In 2020, the residents of Florence voted to name a new recreational area in the town as Exploding Whale Memorial Park, and there's also a plaque memorializing the event.
I hope the restaurants around there have a sandwich named after the guy who
The
did
George
that.
Thornton, and it's just like they threw a chunk of tuna at you or something.
It's just like raw tuna, but like with ghost pepper salsa on it or something.
The residents also celebrate Exploding Whale Day annually at the park.
I hope they get that off.
That would be awesome. In 2023, the local minor league baseball team, the Eugene Emeralds, announced that they would occasionally play upcoming games as the Exploding Whales, which is
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. What I'm looking at, that's their jersey, I'm sure. It
Yeah,
is a
that's
big
their
blue whale with the dynamite.
their logo. We'll put that on the website. And they sold their first batch of merchandise sold out in just 90 seconds.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Paul Lindman, the reporter in the video, threw the first pitch at the inaugural game, and the families of both Walter Umenhofer and George Thornton were both in attendance.
Bad reporting.
I feel really bad for George Umenhofer because he's like, guys,
20 sticks is enough.
Yeah. You have 55 times what you need, and then he's repaid with a chunk of blubber, destroying his brand new car that he bought on a whale of a deal promotion like 4 days before.
God, I wish I had the confidence of the man who's like, yep, I'm going to guesstimate how much dynamite we need. I don't know anything about dynamite, and I can guarantee you I do not need that much for anything.
There you go. So now that's 2 stories with meat in the air.
And I do not have any really depressing whale stories to tell you.
I'm sure you could find one. Oh, I did watch Blackfish, so.
Oh, I haven't yet.
Oh, never mind. Yep.
I'm never going to watch them remove anything washed up on the shore. That just
No,
seems
that's
like
disgusting.
morbid and disgusting.
I hope you all enjoyed this little lightness in between Nicole's terrible, terrible dark stories.
Well, I hope they'd enjoy it because my story is next. And it does involve everyone getting to see our high school photos.
Oh, good.
I already have some on the website that they can't see them yet, but I can.
Even better.
But I did bring my childhood photo albums so you can peruse it and pick out some of your favorites live.
Oh, nice. Okay, I appreciate that since you did the same when we were at my dad's house.
I have so many saved to use at different points in time, and you never know when they're going to come up.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, you don't have to do that.
But then it's also about murder.
Well, of course it is. I mean, it wouldn't be you if there wasn't murder in it.
But it's also about hiking. To the next pour and the next plot twist.